Might as well.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the
The
Knit
Knit
Girls.
Girls.
This is episode 143.
Yes. We double checked.
And yeah, we did double check because
It's
it's
been
been
a
a
little
little
while.
while since we recorded. So
Yes.
if you've watched us before, welcome back. And if you're a new viewer, welcome.
Dear God help you. Um, I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
And I wanted to veer off the path for just a minute and just say thank you guys for your patience. Um, the past couple of weeks has been an exercise in humility for me because I've been all kinds of really weird sick. Um, I started off with the flu, which weakened my immune system, and then picked up some norovirus just for a little bit of spice. Um, and because I had the norovirus, I couldn't eat or hold anything down, which prompted a bout of severe gastritis. So it's been an interesting 10 days, and I'm at about 85% of normal now. Um, but I do appreciate all the sweet thoughts and emails and private messages and stuff like that, and the patience, you guys waiting for us to record because we don't like to skip weeks, but you also wouldn't have wanted to see me last Sunday at all.
Aw, you
So
ruin everyone's
I
fun.
do. I am a ruiner of all things. But anyway, so hello, and again, thank you for your patience. And yeah, so what are you working on?
I'm working on a sock.
There's a shocker.
I know. But it's a special sock. It matches a pair that you have.
Yes, that are no, they're I wore them, so they're upstairs.
So this is some fiber that I spun last year, and I gave half of it to Leslie and kept half of it for me. And it is a 3-ply of Crown Mountain Fiber Arts. I can't remember which colorway it was.
Something love, I don't remember, but yeah,
And it is on the needles, and it's knitting up pretty well. I knit this whole sock basically at the Oxford Fiber Festival, and so I'm ready to start the ribbing and then start a second sock. So,
kicking ass and taking names.
and then other things that I have on the needles, kind of sort, not really, they're kind of off. So I've been swatching quite a bit lately because I want to knit another sweater. So I've done 3 swatches. Where'd my third one go? Oh no, now I'm missing one. It's, if y'all could see this pile of stuff that's surrounding me right now. But the first is some Alicia Goes Around.
And you got that in December, right?
I did. I got this at the Arkansas Fiber Arts Extravaganza. So there's the swatch for that. And that is going to, and I got gauge on size 7s, I think. And that is going to become Sarah.
And that's Serra.
Yep, Serra. And that pattern is by, let me go out and I will tell you. I would if the author's name was on the pattern. I have no idea. Her name's not on her pattern.
She was, it was one of the ones that had a promo code.
Yes, it was. That's really interesting. Okay, moving on.
We'll put it in the notes.
Yep, definitely. And then I also swatched some Volmaza DK in the Moses colorway. And that is going to be for Vodka Lemonade, which, if you are not familiar with,
It's Thea Coleman.
Yep.
Baby cocktails.
Baby cocktails, and that looks like that. And then the third swatch, actually, I'll go back to later because we are going to talk about that later. It's going to be for a mystery sweater cowl that's going to go on pretty soon. So those are my 3 swatches that I did. So lots of sweaters in my future, hopefully.
Is that the conclusion of your works in progress?
That is the conclusion. Oh, there's my other swatch. It looks like this. That's the conclusion of my works in progress, right there. A sock and 3 swatches.
In 2 weeks. No, you got a lot of other stuff going on.
Well, yeah, I have some mystery stuff going on. So anyway.
Okay. I have not knit very much at all. In fact, of the 15 days since we last recorded. I've probably only knit 2 of them, maybe 3 of them, because while I was sick, I was truly, completely, I couldn't even function enough to text. Like, I was just that out of it. So, before I got sick, I cast on for some Mabel socks, and this I had seen Darren knit on these on Knitting in Circles.
That's Sadie's pattern?
It is. It's one of
cool.
Sadie's. It's her latest one. And he talked about how nice and stretchy it was, and I have a problem sometimes around my calf and ankle with it not being stretchy enough. So I got this pattern and cast it on in some Numma Numma Doppio, which I've had caked up for a long time and hadn't picked a good pattern for it. So, and I'm using US size 1s, maybe 1.5s. I think they're 1.5s. They're high sharps. But I think it's coming out nice. I'm just on the ribbing, obviously, and this is the first sock because this is the first time I've touched them in 2 weeks. And they are living in my Happy Piggies bag that Casey sent me. Because I had made a comment to her about a certain fabric that I liked that had pigs on it, and she happened to have this in her stash, so she made me up a bag, which I thought was really sweet of her. And they are jolly little frolicking pigs. And the other thing is my calligraphy. And it is living in my huge Mama Jama Seashore Sharon bag. And as of earlier today, because I have a wonderful boss, my boss is actually in Las Vegas, and I live in New Jersey, and so we had been communicating via email while I was sick, and she's very kind and told me I can work from home as long as I need to, which is good because one of my cube mates at work will literally shoo you out spraying Lysol at you if you cough too often. So that is not a joke at all. That is 100%
I have a coworker
factual.
that does that.
So I don't like to go in if I'm feeling badly, and really, you know, if I have the ability to work from home, I should if I'm not feeling well. So, and I'm using Madeline Tosh Pashmina in the Thunderstorm colorway, and I'm alternating skeins. And I, as of earlier today, since I was able to work from home, I got a little bit of knitting in. And I have finished the body and the sleeves, and in 2 whole weeks. Last week I think I had almost finished this sleeve, so really in 2 weeks I'd knit this sleeve. That's it. And
You've
really
been sick.
3 days. So the body is done. I need to knit the button band and the buttonhole band, but it is done.
That is so exciting.
I do really love the fabric of it. My only complaint at this juncture is that while the sleeves are roomy, and I'm not wearing a long sleeve, so it's good, it'll have a little bit of room in it, the cuffs seem very big for my size. And I went down 2 needle sizes. The pattern didn't say to do that, but I went down 2 needle sizes, even with the correct stitch count, and that it still seems big. But if that's my biggest complaint, I'll live with it. And
you can always do your little surgery and snip it, or rip it back.
I'm not doing that. I could rip it back if I really hated it that much, but I'm just going to wait and see. So I have to pick up a bajillion stitches and then knit 3.5 inches and then pick up a bajillion stitches. And
technical terms.
Yeah. So, but it is very nice. The fabric is very nice, and I really haven't seen any pilling yet. Now, I haven't worn it, but it has had a lot of handling since I've had to, throw it in bags and stuff, and I really haven't seen any pilling yet, so I'm happy with that.
Cool.
And I have a swatch in my Donkeys and Boots bag. And it is out of Elizabeth Lavold Hempathy, which is hemp, cotton, and modal. I don't know what modal is. It's a man-made fiber of some kind. And it's in this silvery gray pewter color. And I got this from Webb's because I knew I was going to run out of yarn for the button bands, and I only have about half a skein left, so
Uh-huh.
I ordered 2 skeins from Webs, and I ordered this at the same time, and I'm going to knit the rock fall sweater, which I didn't think to bring a picture of, but anyway, it's in the latest knit scene. And
Is that the asymmetrical one, or?
it's a raglan, although it's bottom up, and it's just got an asymmetrical lace
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
thing
I
at the
totally
top.
might copy you because I have 10 skeins of Empathy in my stash.
Yeah, and I just wanted something drapey because it's going to have the lace,
Yeah.
so you're going to have to wear a cami under it anyway. So I thought something nice and drapey would be good. And Michael's sawing something, so I don't know if you can hear that or not. But anyway, I actually I knit this in the round, even though it's flat. And some friends were talking about it on text, so I thought I would just show you guys in case you've never done this way. Because my gauge is different if I knit flat versus if I knit in the round. If I'm going to be knitting in the round, I have to swatch in the round, and I didn't want to have to swatch and steek and cut a stupid little swatch. So I knit across, and then you do just like you do I-cord. You pull the yarn behind, you just make it really loose, and then you just start knitting again. So you just knit across, leave a big empty loop, and then you knit across again. So
That's a good way of doing it.
A cheater way to knit swashing around. So.
Uh-huh.
And then for the other thing, I've got yarns that I'm going to swatch with for the mystery sweater. We'll talk about that later.
Cool.
I have no finished objects, and I have no spinning whatsoever.
Well, I finished 2 things.
Oh, jeez. Oh, no, Knit Sherlock, I'm so sorry.
He's so cute. Why you gotta be a hater? Why you gotta be a hater?
Crazy
So
voodoo guy is crazy.
This is Voodoo You Love Me by Susan Claudino. I knit this on size 4 needles, obviously using random Aran scraps, which are random.
They are.
And he is going to go hang out with a friend's little girl, and she will love him.
Yes, she will.
Diane calls him the balloon dude. I don't know what I did wrong other than just me. Like, I'm me, so things. But he's kind of perplexing. I like him, don't get me wrong. He needs like a little thought bubble coming out of his head.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not the best toy knitter. And he's kind of huge. Like, he's the size of my head.
Toys don't need to be perfect, so.
Nope. And he'll be loved.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just set him there to disturb you for the rest of the day.
Oh, it doesn't bother me. I have a picture frame full of eyeballs right there.
Yeah, that's true. So he's actually out of some, the scraps that I used were Amy Butler, Aran Organic. That's the orange, the bright orange.
He is a high, fancy falutin voodoo guy.
He is. And then the blue is the Russian, oh, Amy Beth just did like a review of their yarn.
I haven't seen Amy Beth's last show.
Like, no, this was like 4 weeks ago. She did Beaver Slide Dry Goods, which this is not, and then the other one. Anyway.
Yeah, I forgot.
Peace Fleece. There we go.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Peace Fleece. So the blue was Peace Fleece. They're worsted from like 20 years ago from the stash. And then the other thing that I finished is iced.
That is much larger.
The ends have been woven in. And it is done. And I'm debating about buttons. So this yarn is American Lamb. It is from Made in America Yarns. And it is super duper squishy. Like, if I ever need a pillow, dude, this will make do in a pinch. It's actually a 2-ply yarn, but one's like a thicker single, and then the other's a thinner.
Like a thread. It's
like a thread plied yarn, which is really, like, you can't really tell.
Yeah, I have some socks that are made out of a similar yarn, and you really can't tell.
And I just love it. It's super squishy. And they're actually going to give away 2 skeins of their yarn on the podcast. And we're going to talk about that later, but this is their yarn, and it's very nice and squishy. So y'all can win some yarn from them. So thank you, Made in American Yarns, which is out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I know. I
So
need
they're
to
in the
take a video
old
tour
garment
or
groups.
something.
That would be super cool. But anyway, so that's it for finished objects for me. I can't wait to wear that sweater. I might wear. See, I've been putting off wearing it to work because I'm moving an entire library right now, and I am deathly afraid that it will get caught on some like industrial metal shelving or like the laminator or something crazy will happen because in my world, that's what happens.
Yeah, it does.
So that's it for finished objects. I do have some yarn. So I had spun some Girl Loves, Boy Loves fiber in the slushy colorway, which is a 50% merino, 50% silk. And this was more splatter dyed, so I didn't want it to muddy up, and in order to keep it kind of pure color-wise, I Navajo plied it.
Oh, cool.
So it is 202 yards of a Navajo ply, worsted weight for sure, and it's been soaked and thwacked and is all nice and even. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is some Gales art in the Velvet Elvis colorway.
I like that one.
And I actually got this at Stitches South. Man, I'm awful at like
Skeiner.
Yes. Well, it smells like soap. It's so yummy. But anyway, looks like that. And this is a 2-ply, which means that there's 2 singles that then wrap around each other, going the opposite direction. And that is 337 yards. And I love it lots. Cool. So pretty good yardage. It's a 2-tone BFL. So that worked up well. And then I am in the process. So over the summer, I had started spinning some singles of some more Crown Mountain Farms for to make some socks out of, and it is the Brown Eyed Girl colorway.
You've been spinning that for a while.
So it is pretty fine, and I started plying Sunday or Saturday, and I got the first 3 ounces plied, and it is over twisted, and that's done on purpose because I wanted to add lots of twist to my plying to make it nice and tight, so when I knit it into socks, it's got that nice tight twist. And so from the first 3 ounces, I have 320 yards.
That's a lot.
There should be able, and it's a 3-ply. I should be able to definitely get 2 pairs of socks, like knit half for me and then send you the other half. So
sweet. That's
very cool. And it's really interesting. I'm taking the Craftsy spinning class with the Sweet Georgia trick, which is really, really good. I highly recommend it. I cannot remember her name, but she owns Sweet Georgia Yarns.
Yeah, I've seen a little promo about it.
So one of the things talks about, so this is a 3-ply, so there are 3 distinct different colors, but when you get farther back, it's kind of like pointillism. You can kind of see them if you go way up close.
Yeah.
But when you go farther back, it kind of all blends to this mottled brown, which is kind of cool. Like the farther back you go, the more it looks like brown. But there's definitely pink and white in there as well. So I thought that was very, very cool. It's a really interesting class.
You're getting a lot of yardage on that.
Yeah. Well, I've also been reading Sarah Anderson sent us her book. Yes. And so when it came, I started reading, and I have Cable Durance actually bookmarks because I'm going to do that sometime soon. But it's a very cool book, and we'll do a full review later. But she talks about with socks, spinning, she did a bunch of different experiments for sock yarns. And one of them is spinning 2 plies like S-twist, 1-ply Z-twist, and then plying Z-twist, or, you know, whichever, or 2Z, 1S, plying S. So you have that one going the opposite direction, and it adds actually more stretch and energy into your yarn, and it makes for a harder wearing sock yarn. So next time, when I clear, I think I have one more 8-ounce bump of sock, I definitely have one of the Socks That Rock sock fiber, but next time I'm definitely going to think about that. She also did like chain plaid yarn versus 3-ply and which wears better. So it's just really an interesting book. It's kind of like that Principles of Knitting book, but for spinning. So definitely a resource that I want to keep and have in my library. It's very awesome. So super cool. So that's it for me for spinning. It was very long.
You're very productive over these couple weeks. How much have you spun this year?
So far I have spun, once I get that 8 ounces plied, 2.5 pounds.
Barely into February.
Yeah, so that'll be good. I have some Romney on a wheel, and I have some Falkland alpaca blend on the sidekick, but they're kind of mid bobbin, so it's hard to show y'all. But once I get one bobbin done, I'll show you. I'll bring it up and show y'all. So that's what's currently, that and the plying, which seems never ending with that sock yarn.
Yeah, but it's good because you end up with a lot of yardage.
Oh yeah. And inevitably I'll run out on one bobbin versus, the other two.
I always do that, but
so
I don't spend nearly as much.
Well, I put a little bit of fiber back too. Like I have like a little strip like that much, so I can spin it if I need to on one bobbin. But
good idea.
Anyway, we'll see how that works out. It might come back to bite me in the butt later.
It's all experimentation.
So, favorite thing? Do you want to talk about Mel's sweater and what you plan on using, and then I'll talk and see what I've done?
So our friend Mel, Melissa of Single Handed Knits, is doing a mystery sweater knit along. And as a rule, and you have heard me say it on this show before, I do not do mystery anythings. But Mel is my friend, and I am in a sweater kind of place, so I'm going to knit the sweater along with everybody else. I think the first clue comes out next Sunday.
I think it's February 12th, maybe. I'll look it up real fast while you continue talking.
Okay.
How about that?
So it's worsted weight. It doesn't tell you a whole lot about the construction, so if you're wary, you might want to wait, which is fine. So I'm going to swatch out of 2 different yarns. One is elan.com Highland Silk, which is 80% wool and 20% silk, and it calls for a US 6, 18 to 20 stitches. This would be slightly more dense than this. This is Madeline Tosh Vintage in the Tart.
Ooh, pretty.
Which our friend Steven is almost done with a gorgeous sweater out of this. So I'm going to swatch out of both of these 2 and see which one gives me a better fabric, and whichever one wins is the one that I will knit the sweater out of. But I need to swatch this week so that I can cast on.
So let's see. It is called the Aloha sweater, HOALOHA, by Melski. It has 1 inch positive ease, and the first clue is released on February 12th.
Okay.
But if you buy the pattern is $3.50. You get a little download, and it gives you swatching information. And she also has a bunch of information being shared in her podcast group, which is Single Handed Knits.
Yes.
So what I am going to use, and I already swatched, but I do not swatch in the round because my round and flat gauge is pretty much the same.
Yeah, and some people's doesn't differ. Mine does.
This is using a size 7, and it is way too big. It does not meet the gauge. So I'm actually going to use a size 6. Plus this, you can kind of see through it a little bit. I think if I put it up there, you can kind of see.
Yeah.
So I like the fabric on a 6 better. So I'm going to use a size 6, and this yarn, and I haven't actually blocked that out, is Superwash Quattro 220. It is in the 1953 colorway. So
Superwash in their descriptive cascade.
And because it's superwash tends to grow a little bit, so that's also the reason why I went down to the size 6. Because just from experience with using superwash yarn, I know that when I block my swatch, it'll grow a little bit too. So That's me and my size 6 for a sweater that's written for size 8s.
Oh, see, if it's written for size 8s, then I'll probably have to go up to 9s, maybe 10s, because I
Uh-huh.
knit so tightly. Although I don't know how my gauge compares to Mel's.
Well, it's a pretty, I think it was 5 stitches per inch on a worsted, which is pretty standard.
Hmm. I'll have to swatch and see.
There you go. I got my Tempted Club package. Do you get a package from
I
Tempted?
did, but I didn't bring it downstairs, so you
Okay,
show
I have
yours.
mine. So this is the Ain't Misbehaving. So if you haven't gotten it yet, I should hold this down. You can go fast forward 30 seconds, and it looks like that. And it's
And
really pretty. It's
it's a
on her
good
Good
girl.
Girl base, which is one of my favorites. And it's teals and then a dark blue, and it's super squishy. And it came with an awesome little postcard, which is probably not appropriate to show on the podcast because we have kids that watch. But it is a burlesque themed club. And
Pinup
it
girl this
also
time.
came with, is it burlesque this time or
It's pinup.
Okay, it's pinup. Last time was burlesque, and it came with a mirror, a compact, with a little heart. So that was this month's shipment. And then I also got Into the Worlds,
I got that too.
which is based on the Starry, Starry Night Stern Knots.
I did not realize that's what it was based on.
This
That's
time
cool.
art. Yeah. And it's on I get the classic, so it's on an English Shetland base.
Yeah.
And I'm really thinking about doing faux logs with it, which is a way of doing row logs with roving or top versus doing it using hand combs. Okay. So instead of using combs and having combed roving, you can create the same effect basically using top. So I'm going to try that, I think, out. David of Southern Cross Fibers has this awesome tutorial on it, and the completely pointless
Twisted.
and arbitrary or twisted, whatever it is, spinners groups. Is it CPA?
CTA, completely twisted and arbitrary.
There we go. Spinners group is doing like a spin along with that. So I want to participate in Shetland's, one of the fibers that's supposed to work really well with that. So I'll have some long draw going on.
Sweet.
That'll be fun. I went to Oxford. I went to the Oxford Fiber Festival.
You did.
And
I got some pictures, and it was good because
Yes.
I was feeling very crummy, so it was nice to see pictures.
And I met up with some awesome people. I went with my friend Gail and Eloise, and I met up with, let's see, Memphis Holly, Kaw Shirley, who has her own podcast, Girlfriends Knitting, which is a wonderful podcast. And then I also met with, I want to make sure I get her name right. She makes these awesome bags. And now I don't think this one has a tag in it. Oh, I'm failed. Oh, I stuck a business card in. Absolute Wonder.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yep. So, Jen Rose, and she donated a bag for a giveaway, but I'm trying to limit our giveaways to like 2 an episode.
Yeah, I've got another item for a giveaway, but I'm
This
going to
will
hold
be a
it.
giveaway for a future episode.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's very pretty.
So maybe next week or the week after. Y'all have to stay tuned. But that's a giveaway. And so I took a class with knitting guru Shannon Oki about sweaters and modifying specifically top-down raglans to better fit for individual body types. So I took that class. It was wonderful. Had a great time. Got some great pictures with Shannon. Got some great knowledge from the class. And Kaw Shirley, Carolyn and I actually paired up and we measured each other, which is always
fun. Yeah.
But it's funny, like my measurements up here have not changed in like probably 6 years. My measurements like around my waist, they've changed.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's always brutal when somebody else is holding the tape measure.
Yeah. Oh, and she was fine. And
Oh, no, I don't mean like she
Yeah.
was mean about it, but I just mean it's like it's harder to lie to yourself when somebody else is reading that number for you.
I'm an expert at lying to myself.
Oh, honey, I think that we could all teach a class or two on that.
So I only bought 3 things while I was there. Are you ready? That's not
I'm
too
very
bad.
impressed with that.
In the market. I've been wanting, ever since we gave away some Lost City Knits DK, I've been
It's so
wanting. So
pretty.
I got two of their colorways. This gray is Potbelly Stove, which is gorgeous. And then the blue is Cerrillos. Cerrillos?
Cirillos. I'm butchering that, I'm sure.
I butcher everything. And then Brenda, who's a good friend of mine, she is, I'm actually teaching. There's going to be a festival in Vicksburg, Mississippi this year. And so I'm teaching for her there. So that'll be cool. It'll be this cool new fiber festival. But I bought from her this awesome bat.
Wow.
This
That is-
bat has like everything in it.
It's got some personality, that's for sure.
You want to hear what it has?
Why don't you tell me what it doesn't have?
Mohair, Angora, Alpaca, Merino, BFL, Polwar, Silk, Silk Noil, Angelina, Cotton, Bamboo, and Firestar. And it's 6.1 ounces.
Wow, what are you going to do with it?
Snuggle. I don't know.
Don't take a deep breath. I've learned that's a bad idea around the bat.
And here's the card for the Magnolia State Fiber Festival that I'm going to be teaching at. I'm teaching a sock class and a bead knitting class.
Oh, it's at a casino. Huh.
Well, it's attached, because I guess that's a big issue. Like, people don't want to go to a casino, so it's attached. It's like this big area that was going to at some point be a swimming pool and then wasn't.
Yeah, so it's okay, I see what you're saying. It's on the same land, probably.
It's on the same property and it's owned by the same people.
Yeah.
But they use it for weddings and stuff, I guess. So it's
cool.
family friendly. And there's no smoke, which is, I guess, was a concern at one point in time. Because people,
Well, around fiber, it makes complete sense to be concerned about that.
especially in Mississippi.
Yeah. Where they have not outlawed smoking in public places in a lot of parts of Mississippi.
And then I had 2 patterns get released since last we talked.
Fancy pants. See, there are things Laura and I were getting ready to record, and I'm like, what is that pattern? I've never even heard of that. Because I've been dead for a week and a half.
So the first thing that I released the pattern for is the Mahalo hat. It looks like this.
And what does mahalo mean?
Thank you.
Good job.
So the reason why it's named that is it is offered for free. And I wanted to do something as a thank you to all our viewers, and not just our viewers, but anyone who's involved in the podcast community and watches any of the podcasts. So this is my little thank you to y'all, because y'all are awesome, and we would not be doing this without y'all.
I don't know. I mean, we can talk to each other about recording it, so.
Yeah. So there's that, and it uses rowan big wool. So it's like 2 stitches per inch, and it's up in like 2 hours. And then I also am involved, and I have nothing to show you with this because it's a mystery. So I am involved in the Solid Socks yarn group. It's a Solid Socks group, knit-along group, and just group in general.
How many times can you say group?
18. You get a count?
No.
So in this group.
Is it a group?
Which is a group. There are, they do every 2 months a mystery knit along, and they asked me to design their February-March mystery count, and so I did. And the first clue actually came out on Sunday, and basically their rules are you need solid colored sock yarn, and if you complete the pair, you are entered for prizes. So if you're interested in more details about that, you should go over to the Solid Socks group. So it's lots of fun, and that's why I can't show y'all really what I've been hardcore focusing on for 2 weeks. Is I was knitting that, and then I was also doing a test knit for someone, which I can't talk about. So that's ate up a lot of my knitting time. But actually, you being sick timed perfectly for me because
Yay! I'm so glad to oblige.
Yes, I wouldn't have had a lot to show anyways. So you got some gifts, girl.
I did. I do not show everything that I get because I'm very lucky and grateful to have people that I don't even know some of these people who send nice thoughts and prayers and considerations my way, and so I wholeheartedly appreciate that. I am so behind, it is ridiculous in answering email. I'm about 230 something behind. Normally my inbox is around 30ish, and my PMs on Ravelry are in the 20s. They were much higher, and then Laura helped me, thank God. Um,
If you got a PM from Leslie in the last week, it was really from me.
it probably was, honestly, because I mean, I've not been this ill ever. I've given birth. This was worse. Um, have you ever, if you've ever gotten to that point when you're ill where you're willing to bargain off 5 years of your life just to get past it? I was there. And I was there 3 days into a 10-day stint. So, um, I'm sorry if I have not answered your contact. I will. But thank you. Uh, I got a gift, and this actually went to the PO box, and I got it last week, but I haven't. Again, I've been ill, so I haven't had a chance to tell her personally. But I wanted to tell Diane, who is Freedom for You on Ravelry. She sent me this really cute gift. She said, she sent me the note. It says, when you see something you love, but you don't want to buy it for yourself, but you know somebody else that would be perfect for. Well, I thought of you when I saw this in a local store, and so she ordered it and had it sent to me. And it is the Journal of Awesome.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, and it's got some, little prompts like watching movies. Awesome. Um, like list of things you're grateful for. So it's got some prompts. And I'm not much of a journal, like a diary person, but I thought this would be fun to do like a craft journal. So
Yeah.
the Journal of Awesome Crafting. And so I might start keeping my swatches, and like I was very inspired by Mel a couple weeks ago when she was showing the fiber that she got from Space Cadet that was still in like pencil form, and how she kept a little tuft and tucked it on the card like a memory card to say this is what it looked like before. And I was very inspired by that as a way to remember how things start. And so that might be something I do with my swatches. I might, make a note of when I started the swatch, I was going to knit X sweater. The fabric decided it. Talk a little bit about the experience and then make notes about the sweater. So anyhow, I just wanted to say thank you to Diane. It was very considerate of her. And we both got gifts from Kate.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was from her until you told me. I need to send her a thank you.
Well, she sent me a note that I haven't had a chance to respond to, but I did read it. She basically got the flu, same as I did, a few weeks before I did. So when she sent the stuff off, she just had forgotten to include a note. But she sent us both a package, and in that package there was a hoodie that had some cute little knitting stuff on it, and she sent us both bags, like project bags, and I'm Knit Girl 1 because I'm the boss.
And I'm Knit Girl 2.
Ooh, I like your font better than mine. That's cool.
Oh, see, I like yours. I like your swirly one. It's cute. I like both of them.
Yeah, it's got a pocket in it, and it's lined and flat bottom and everything. So, and she's always been a very kind, sweet, supportive person with nice things to say, both on the forums and in private messages. So I just wanted to say thank you to her. And I got something that you're going to be jealous of, too.
I'm always jealous of stuff that you get from Sharon.
Oh, yeah, you read the show notes. I'm like, how'd you know I got something from Sharon? I didn't tell you that.
Literacy, it is key when you are a librarian.
Yeah, well, she sent me... It's always know when I get a package from Sharon because her handwriting is very distinctive. It always comes in the same type of envelope. And I'm always grateful for it. So she sent me this card, which has got a picture of a quilt on it, which is beautiful. Aww. God, I love that's gorgeous. In my head, I've been quilting tons, but nothing has actually happened. So she sent me this really nice note. And basically she said that when she saw the bag that you bought, Laura, she loved the fabric. So she made me one. She bought it and made me.
Aww.
And
that's
her.
Adorable.
So we have bags that match yours. Not perfectly because she says she's not, she doesn't consider her skills on par with Michelle's, although I disagree. But, so.
Very cute. What's the lining fabric look like?
It's a very plain it'll go
Love
with
it.
anything, but it's got a
You'll be
flat
able to
bottom.
see so well. The thing I love about white lining is you can actually see your stuff.
Yeah, and you can find that tape measure that's disappeared into the black
Yeah.
oblivion of nothingness. I can't tell. I probably have 20 tape measures, can never find one. They even have a special place in my craft room. They're never there.
I have another Absolute Wonder gave me a little bag, and I just have a tape measure in it. It's very cute.
Um,
It's down in my big, huge bag that I was keeping iced in because towards the end it needed its own tote bag.
yeah, they do. I mean, my calligraphy is, this is ridiculous. It's huge. But I do love it a lot. I just need it to be done because I'm done with it. I need it to be done.
Done with it?
I need to be done with it. Okay, let's see. I'm pulling up shows.
I got something from Unwind.
Ooh, cool.
So I bought some Memphis Blues in her Aran base. Isn't that pretty?
Ooh, that is pretty. Ooh, that's
And
very
then
pretty.
Dana,
That is very Memphis.
yep, it's very Memphis colorway. Dana created me my own colorway.
Ooh, because you are big time now.
It's called Laura Loves Unwind.
Oh,
I got to name it too.
that's sweet.
So, I was sitting around with some folks, and I was like, Dana's letting me name my own yarn, and it has to have my name in it because it's all about me. It's got to be something awesome. And I can't remember who it was, but they were like, I think it was Nell said, it needs to be Laura Loves Unwind, like Stephen loves Tosh. I was like, oh, yes, it does.
That's good.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
it's
a good
funny
one.
whenever anybody does a color inspired by you, it's always purple. Always.
Yes, it should be. There are no other colors.
But it's like when
This is
Emo
madness
did
to
the Knit Girls colorway. It wasn't. I mean, it had several colors in it, but one of them was one of those purples. It's a beautiful purple. I love it. That's a
I
good
love
colorway.
purple. I like it a lot. It's
You need
very,
a whole sweater
very
in
pretty.
Laura Loves Unwind.
She'll do sweater quantities, and I'm
cool.
really thinking about getting a sweater quantity for my
I
mom.
have bitten off more than I can chew with sweater quantities, and I've got one indie dyer who happens to live in Maine, who is working on a colorway for me, and that is the last sweater quantity I'm buying until I've knit at least 3 sweaters because holy God, I've got a lot of freaking yarn.
Yeah, I need to knit a couple sweaters before. Well, I have 3 swatches, so I'm headed in the right direction.
So since we haven't recorded in 2 weeks, we are going to do fiber optic giveaways.
Yeah.
We're going to pull 2 names from this past giveaway pool, and then we'll start one more this week. How many are we
Okay.
doing altogether? 6? I think 6, right?
Yes.
We'll figure
So
that
that
out.
gives us 3. 3 or 4.
This is 4. This will be 4.
Okay.
So
That's right on par.
the thread had 191 comments, and to enter, all you had to do was tell us your favorite colorway
Away.
of Kimber's. So I put between 2 and 191 on the random number generator. So I'm gonna generate 2 numbers, and Laura's gonna tell you who they are.
Yes.
All right. So the first number is, it's giving me the swirly thing, 35.
Oh, that's on page 2.
And then I'm going to generate one more time. Well, actually, I'm going to wait until you find it.
35 is Cyan Comets. Cyancomet. And she says that her favorite would have to be Reflections Die Break because she loves the blues and greens. So
I love her die
congratulations.
breaks. I think she does great die breaks. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So let
The,
Leslie know.
the next one is 6.
Awesome. Y'all
So
are
low
making it
numbers were
easy
your
on me
friends
today.
this time.
And that is Kathy B. Knits, who says she likes Lazy River too, but I gotta go with Emily as my absolute favorite.
Cool.
Smiley face.
Well, awesome. So
Right.
we get in touch with me, private message me. You don't call me Les, or you can private message Kimber directly, fiber optic or Fiber Optic Yarns. I can't remember. But anyhow, she watches, so she may have already reached out to you by the time that you hear this. It's so I feel like such a conceited jerk saying, "Oh, she watches," but I know she does. So
She posted in the group today too. So
yeah, she's a doll, and I have enjoyed so much working with her. And I haven't touched. This is the other half. It's exactly the same as it was last week or 2 weeks ago. So spinning is on the list for this week.
yay!
And
Thank you.
for our next fiber optic giveaway, we are going to ask you guys to link to a pattern that you think works well or would work well for a gradient spun, hand spun, or a gradient dyed yarn. So that's
Wonderful.
your task should you choose to accept it. Put a link
I'll
in
give
the
you a
thread.
hint. Just One More Row discussed some of that this past week on their episode.
Cool. I
Yep.
don't mean to copy them, but
No, they just they discussed something in particular. So if you're looking for ideas, that might be some place to find it.
needles are stuck over here.
And then I have the 2 skeins of the Made in America yarn to give away. And this is, like I said earlier, American Lamb, and it's a multicolored wool, which they do not create as a standard color. So
they
we're just
typically
gonna-
kettle dye.
they typically do solids
Okay.
for the American Lamb. Now their cotton, they have like a bulky cotton and also a DK cotton. They do have multis in there. So this
So
might
American
be,
Lamb is just the base.
American Lamb is the base, and the company who makes it is Made in America Yarn out of Philadelphia.
What's the total yardage?
I don't have my tags in front of me. I'll put that in there. I'll put
Okay.
a link to the actual thing. I know that sweater took me 8 skeins, and that was around 1,200 yards. So I'm saying right around, I think it was like 150. So this is going to be around 300 yards.
Okay.
So what you would make with this?
And that
Most
one
feminine
comment per
that-
person.
Yep. Must be a member of the group.
Yep.
That's free on group.
If this were a drinking game, I'd be dead.
Lightweight.
Yes, that is very, very true.
And that's think about it for this week.
Yes. Now I still have to go edit, which is going to be so much fun.
That'll take time. It doesn't
no.
have to be tomorrow.
It won't be too bad because really after the works in progress, I don't have to do the because it's just me talking heads. So yeah, I think that's it. Next week I am going to try to have some spinning for you guys and maybe a finished sweater, although I make no promises because that's going to be like 10 years of ribbing.
I heard it's a bazillion stitches on each side.
It is a bazillion stitches on each side. But I do want the sweater. I want it done.
It's gonna be so pretty.
So,
Just put like Star Trek Next Generation and just go to town.
well, I'm watching Army Wives. I'm on season 4 now. So.
I started watching Kingdom, and it's pretty good. It's
What is-
British.
Oh, okay.
It's got Fry.
I'm
Stephen
all
Fry.
I'm caught up on Downton Abbey. I watched yesterday and got caught up. And the 4th episode of the season made me cry.
I haven't watched any of season 3.
You should. It's on pbs.org. You can watch it for free.
I haven't watched most of season 2. I lost interest. But that's also, if you have Amazon Prime, it's on there. Season 2 is.
Yeah, well, season 1 and 2 are, but season
Yeah.
3 you have to pay to watch it on Prime right now.
Yeah.
Just because it's still airing.
Oh yeah. But
Anyhow,
yeah,
we got off
PBS.
topic there.
Yep.
So again, thank you guys for all of your kind words and well wishes, and we, barring, I don't wanna
Natural
get-
disaster.
Yeah, there we
and-
go. Barring sickness and natural disasters, we will see you guys again on Sunday.
All right.
Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
y'all.